What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I know I am, because we're back working on this jet ski, and if you can tell, we're working on the bottom side. I've got a couple things to fix. There's a couple cracks, a couple real low spots that we need to put some fiberglass on, and then just generally redoing everything because it is gouged up. It's been through the ringer a time or two. So with that, let's go ahead, get this thing fixed up so we can flip it over and give it some paint and be done with this project. We're getting so close to being done. It's right there. So let's go ahead. We got a couple fiberglass things to fix, and then I'm gonna sand it, get it really nice, and then start doing some gel coat. I think that's the course of action. I'm kind of avoiding taking the intake grate and the ride plate off of it. We'll see if that's a great decision or a poor decision. I might have to redo it, but that has silicone already on it. It's already set pretty good. We'll see where that takes us, but for right now we got crack repair to do and fiberglass, and so let's get to those. So on the left hand side, I've got this crack that went through all the way to the inside. I put silicone on it and it worked great, but I just need to fix it. If I'm gonna paint it, I just need to fix it. So that needs to get ground out. Then it's just generally not in the best of shape, but it's just the gel coat and for the most part that's worn off. So other than there's a gouge right here that I need to fix, and then the very ends both are getting a little bit too toasted. So we're gonna fix both of those and fix all this stuff. So let's get to doing some fiberglass work. Look at that. We got the whole bottom pretty well sanded out. We got most of the scratches and stuff kind of taken out. We've got all the wax off of it. We've got a couple low spots that I know we need to fix, but it's looking really, really good so far. I gotta fix both the fins on the back, so that's gonna need some fiberglass, as well as fixing this giant crack. So let's get to fiberglass in these things now that everything's sanded, and then we'll make sure that we can shape everything, make it all nice and smooth and pretty again. We've got our cracks repaired, just threw some chop mat on it real quick. That's ready to sand and get flat again. And while I was waiting, I went ahead and put some Bondo over this to make this bottom nice and flat so that I wasn't relying on the gel coat to make it flat. I got most of the cracks fixed. Well, most of the holes filled. I've got all the cracks fixed. Both sides right here seem to be really, really bad. Like it took a wave pretty good. And then we've gone ahead and built the back up. I have a bunch of chop mat underneath this. 3 layers of chop mat, and then I found that it's easier if I just put the biaxial on top, just kind of keep all those fibers down. Makes it easier. It'll make it stronger in the long run because then I'm not cutting those off. They're actually on and structural. So now it's time to shape this to the shape that we need, and then shape these to nice and flat again. So let's get to that. We'll start doing some grinding. You can see the Bondo's on there. It's all fairly smooth. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm still gonna put a lot of gel coat on the bottom of this, because the bottom didn't have very much gel coat in the first place, but we need to get that fixed, and we need to have enough to not get destroyed easily. So we'll get some gel coat coming on. We'll start out with no wax, go to wax at the end so it's nice and thick, and then we'll be protected, and then we'll get ready to sand this whole bottom. Well, I tried to avoid it for as long as I can, but it was inevitable. The ride plate had to come off, and this pump might also have to come off, but I want to be able to shape this inside better, and I just wasn't able to do it with the ride plate. So I'm just taking some 80 grit, and this one is a DA sander because that's easily available for me, and then just a random chunk of pipe. I think it's a 2-inch piece of pipe, 1 inch, 2 inch, whatever. It has a little contour to it, so it makes it easier. It doesn't match this at all, not even close, but it just makes it easier because it has a pressure point, but that pressure point's angled, so I can I'll take the sanding paper and the pipe, and then I can go this way, but I can also kind of come up and rotate if I need to. So that will get me whatever sanding profile I'm looking for based on what it is. And then if you can see the chop mat is, you can still see the texture. That means I'm still low right there, and I'm high where it's nice and smooth. So the goal is to get the chop mat out of it and hopefully get it to look nice and pretty. Now we've got most of the dimples out. I'm gonna leave a little bit because the more material I have there, the better. It's gonna be just stronger. So leave it like that, and we'll get this top buttoned down with a nice flat piece of a sanding disc or something nice and flat, so we can get that peak set, and then we'll roll the peak over to make it nice and pretty like it was. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just using a random piece of bar I have. I don't know even why I have this bar, but flat piece or a 2x4 would work perfect. I have tons of stuff. Little chunks of 2x4 with stapled on sanding paper, and then foam bricks. These are fine, but a lot of times I don't even use them for what they are. I use them as a backer, and I'll grab my really heavy grit and I'll use this to kind of absorb those holes. But there's plenty of other things. Right now I want rigid, I want hard, I want nice and flat. So we're going with the hard pieces that don't have any give, and then some really aggressive sandpaper because we're doing it by hand. We just wanted to take it down a bunch, and then we'll fix all the scratches with the gel coat, which will actually help it adhere a lot better. So let's go ahead, take this back off. Let's start setting our profiles on what we want for our side to side or the fin. Sanding is complete enough. I have a little bit of a low spot, but just like up here, it's not quite perfect, but I'd rather have the strength than have it perfectly smooth. So now I'm going to go ahead, take some Bondo, I'll make that a little bit smoother so it's nice and good for adhesion, nice and smooth. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the fins back here and the other side as well. So got a little bit of Bondo work to do. We're going to clean this up with acetone real quick, get all the dust off of it, and then we're going to get ready for some gel coat. I just need to fix it. If I'm going to paint it, I just need to fix it. So